my name is Jane Gray, and I'm with Jane Gray Homes here in Northern Virginia, specifically in Vienna, Virginia. And today I'm interviewing Ray Pugsley, and he is the owner of Potomac River Running Company. And thank you, Ray, for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me on. This is cool.
All right, awesome. So I am not a professional runner or anything, but I have been in the store and I enjoyed it, and I wanted to highlight what you're doing here in the community.
Well, thank you. Yeah, great for the opportunity. A lot of people don't know what we do and what a store like ours is all about, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about your business. How did you get started?
Well, we started our first location was in 2003, so we're at over 16 years, which is exciting.
Wow.
And that first store was in Ashburn, Virginia.
Okay.
When we opened that first store, there were not a lot of stores like our kind of store around. We call ourselves a run specialty store. There weren't a lot of them around, and we wanted to fill some gaps in the marketplace, and we looked at the suburbs, and the suburbs were not very well covered, so we opened a store in Ashburn and Burke back in 2003. It was my wife and I and my brother and sister-in-law, so we had two families. We figured we needed two stores. Against conventional wisdom, we opened up two stores right away instead of just one, but that allowed us to support the two families, and we grew from there.
Family affair. So
family
is it
affair.
Still a family affair?
My brother and sister-in-law have gone back to teaching, but it's still family, and my wife and I are still the owners.
Excellent, excellent. And I understand that the business feels like a family too, with all your employees.
Yeah, that's our goal. As we've grown to, we now have 10 locations.
Wow.
The existing Metro Run and Walk in Springfield is, we recently merged with them, and they are a part of our family, so that makes it 10. And with 10 locations, it may seem like it's a bigger organization, but all the locations are in real close proximity, from Leesburg to DC to now Springfield, and certainly all easy to get to, and we live right here in Sterling in Northern Virginia, so I can't be in every store at one time, but it's still a family business, and try to know all the employees as well as I can, and keep that cozy family community feel.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about the name of the company. So Potomac River Running, and it's also PR. So
Yep.
Are you known by both? And
We are known by both. The original name was intended to be Potomac River Running Store, and we came up with that because whether or not we really consciously or subconsciously imagined we'd have multiple locations, we knew we'd have two from the very beginning. We wanted to have a name that a lot of stores around the country pick the name of the town,
right,
and say Town Running Company, so we could be Vienna Running Company.
Sure.
But we knew we were going to start off with two locations, and we thought, in case we ever have more than two locations, we wanted something that tied it together but conveyed the region. So we thought, well, Potomac River Running, the Potomac River certainly runs through the whole region, so we built from there. And then after coming up with Potomac River Running, we quickly realized that the letters PR, which for people who come up through the track and cross-country world, predominantly the track world, PR stands for personal record. Some people use PB, which is personal best, but personal record means what's your PR in the mile, in the 5K, in the marathon, what's your best time. And it was a neat play on words, so to speak, that it lined up with Potomac River Running and PR. So
Nice.
We started using both of those, and people like shorter things than longer things, so through time people just started calling us PR, and our vendors call us that, and lots of people just refer to us as that, so it stuck. And we made our logo, which you can see on the sign back there, is clean and simple and easy to identify, so another reason that we've kind of lean towards that as our identifying mark.
all right, awesome. Because I was going to ask you how that came about. So, and you coach as well, right?
Yes.
So I think you came from a coaching session this morning.
I
Is
did.
that what you do in your spare time? Like you
Well-
run 10 stores and you can coach too?
Well, I wish I could coach more. I really like coaching. I'd love to be involved with the high school team. Wish that if I had more time, I would do coaching. I really get a kick out of it. But we actually started our coaching program before we opened up the store. My wife and my sister-in-law and I started coaching in 2001, November of 2001, and that probably led a little bit into our decision to open a running store a couple years later, is that we were continue to be involved in the running scene. But I have a coaching group that I do in Tuesday and Thursday mornings in Arlington, and we have a lot of other coaching involved with our company. I'm not the coach of those other programs because I do have a few other things to keep my mind focused on, and I've got 2 kids, so I've got
busy.
I've got other commitments to keep on my plate as well. But coaching is a passion of mine, and someday I'll expand and do more of it as well.
Awesome. So with the 10 stores, are they, what do you attribute your success to? I mean, retail isn't easy, right?
No, it's certainly not
we've got
easy.
a lot of pressure from online and things like that.
Yep.
So what makes your stores different? Why do you feel like, you can continue to expand? What do you offer?
Well, it's actually an interesting question. There's 2 very different pieces to my answer. When we first opened up in 2003, I shortly became aware and surprised at how much positive feedback we got for what we thought was just doing our job. And it was, you always knew that kind of service-based retail and service-based anything was slipping away. It's not like it was, years and years ago. It's not like you pull into the gas station and they clean your windshield and pump the gas for you, all that. But so that's been kind of evolving towards things are more self-serve. When we opened up in 2003, people were give us such positive feedback on the attention we gave them, and in our mind we were just doing our jobs. So that there aren't a lot of places where you can come in and get personalized service. So that in and of itself kind of sets our channel apart and leads into our success. But also our ability to evolve with time.
That's important.
Fortunately, we've got a big staff with lots of people with different backgrounds and different ages, and we have younger and older people involved in our organization, so we get feedback on what the customer is looking for. We can get a good sense not only through our customers but through our employee bases to what makes people tick. So we are constantly evolving how we do business, how we communicate, all those things so that we can stay relevant. So I think the combination of good old-fashioned customer service with being able to reach out and contact people in the way they want to be communicated with allows us to continue to be a strong company.
Excellent. And I'm going to vouch for that because I came in the store looking for a pair of running shorts and I couldn't believe the attention I got just for a pair of running shorts. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to interview Ray. So great job. So where do you see yourself maybe in 5 years? I mean, do you're taking direction from your current customers?
Yep.
What are you thinking is, what is your future looking like? More stores or, changing, what you're selling or?
We've never had a goal of having more and more stores. So that's not a goal. It's not like we have we want to have X number of locations. I never imagined having 10 now, and that's not a driver. The way with it being so busy around here and traffic, people don't want to kind of deviate from their normal paths. So in order to reach everybody, we have to have smaller footprints. So that's how we've come to the store count that we've come to. But the way I see ourselves evolving is that continued understanding of technology and communication.
Yeah.
What can we do to give the customer what they expect? We have to, even though shoes are not thought of as a highly technical thing, there is a lot of technology in the shoes, but it's not thought of like an iPhone or a computer.
But it's so important in
But
running.
it is important. But there are there is an evolution in the product, and we need to be sure that we're evolving how we communicate, letting people know that there's an evolution in the product so that people are interested to come in. So in terms of where we see ourselves, how do we communicate with people in the right way? For example, we have an online store now.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask about that.
We're about 2 years into having an online store. It's not something that it is not our focus. Our brick and mortar is our focus.
Okay.
But people like to shop, pre-shop.
Mm-hmm.
People like to say, I'm thinking about buying this. I need to know something about it and where I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
So people have gotten used to going into stores and go, I get in there, what I'm looking for isn't here. It's just easier to go online. So by having an online store, we have the opportunity for people to say, I'd really like to buy that at Potomac River Running. Do they have that? And they go on our online store, they see it, and then they come in. So our online store, of course, we like selling things on the online store as well, but its main purpose is to show people who are researching us what we have in our store. So that's an example of how we see ourselves evolving.
That's pretty common these days for retail, is that people are using the internet for their pre-shopping experience to do research, right? And try to figure it out. Do you carry all the same merchandise in all your stores?
More or less.
Okay.
We have the core products, certainly. We have merchandise that varies based on our geography. Even though I'll say we're a small company in a small geography, there is a difference between the customer in DC and the customer in Arlington and the customer in Leesburg. Mm-hmm. So we tailor our product based on what the customer wants a little bit. So we have things that maybe are a bit more fashion forward in the DC store, where people are coming by and they're not coming in necessarily to buy equipment to go exercise, but they want to wear something in the evenings when they go out with their friends that looks like running shoes. Okay. And if we have the current stuff, we have a market for that in our DC store. Out towards Leesburg, there's a lot more people that go out and run on the Appalachian Trail on a regular basis. It's not that far, so we have more product that might be tailored towards being up on the trails, more so than in Arlington, where you can go on trails, but they're more paved trails or more gentle trails where you can get away with a typical shoe. So a little bit of product variation from that perspective, but by and large, our core products are the same.
Awesome. So tell us a story about somebody, one of your customers or clients, just to, give us a feel for, what is it like, interacting with Potomac River?
Well, we have, so many stories, positive stories of how something we've done has changed someone's world. And that's really heartening to me. It makes me really proud of what we do. There are people who come in who will come in and say, 2 years ago I came in and got my first pair of running shoes and I've lost 100 pounds. Wow. Or people who will come in and say, my husband and I didn't have a whole lot that we did socially or in common, and we picked up running, and now we're going all over the country running races together. Cool. So there are lots of stories where fitness has brought people together or changed their life that we're involved with. Other neat stories that we have are we have quite a few employees over the years who have gotten married and have kids, and so we have this running list of Potomac River running couples, and
they met through the store.
Yeah, many of them have been employees in the
Extended
store.
Family.
Exactly, many of them have just been employees in the store that have gotten together. Sometimes it's an employee that meets a customer, so we've got sort of two different lists, but there's quite a few people, and I've been to a few weddings, and it's kind of neat to be at a wedding and say, this wedding had happened because we went to worked at Potomac River Running Store. That's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Ray, for joining me today. I really appreciated you telling me about your stores, and I hope you have continued success.
Very good. If you wouldn't mind, one more thing I'd like to throw in here. Something that people don't realize about us that I wish I could scream it from the rooftops is that even though we have the word running in our name of our store, we like to think of ourselves as a fitness, as a health place more than a running place. We have a lot of people who are walkers who come in to buy shoes for walking for exercise, walking the dog, playing with the kids, standing at their jobs, teachers, nurses, doctors. And there's a lot of people that are intimidated to come in this store because of the word running. If I could have one wish, it would be that everybody understood that if you need a pair of shoes, if you have a pair of shoes that looks like this, that you would benefit by coming into a store like us. Our prices are the same as you get in other places, but we have this service that we can get you in a shoe that's just right for you. If the shoe doesn't feel awesome on your feet, you don't have the right shoe, but there's something out there for you. And don't be intimidated by, oh, I'm not fast enough, or I don't run enough, I'm not a runner. We hear that all the time. But as soon as somebody comes in and experiences us, I think all those anxieties go away and people realize, I deserve to have a really well-fitting shoe, and I'm not going to pay any extra for it, so why don't I go someplace where someone can help me accomplish that goal?
Totally agree with that. I came in here and I wasn't sure if I was going to be intimidated, but I wasn't. Like I said, great customer service. I think the one thing you didn't mention, though, is that you actually analyze people's gait. It's not the same as just taking a shoe and saying, I like this because it's a pretty color, right?
Exactly.
So when you're fitting people for shoes, you are able to see, what type of shoe, if they're pronating. I don't know all the terminology, but I mean, that's a huge service to offer.
Exactly right. So there's all these shoes out there, and they all, most people think the only difference is a brand logo and a color. But there's very substantial engineering differences between the shoes. And if you have a shoe that's a brand new shoe, an expensive brand new shoe that's not right for you, it can actually cause you to get injured. So having the right shoe is super important in terms of a comfort perspective and staying healthy perspective while exercising. And we look at three general things. We ask you questions to know how much you're exercising, what your injury history is, that kind of thing. We look at the shape characteristics of your feet so that we can match up the shape of the shoe with your foot, but we also look at how your foot interacts with the ground when you're in motion, whether that's walking or jogging or running. And we videotape your feet and we show you how your foot functions. And we combine those three things so that you don't have to try on 100 different shoes, but we bring out a subset of shoes that will be appropriate for you based on those characteristics that we look for. And then it becomes a simple process and you end up with something that feels great and works for you, and you get your money's worth out of it.
Excellent. And high level of service there, right? So
we try. We try.
Excellent. Okay. Well, did you have anything else to add? I'm sorry, I forgot that, to get into that aspect, but thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, no, I think don't be afraid to come in the store. Come on in and try us out. Even if you're not interested in needing a pair of shoes at the moment, just come in and say hi. As being Vienna is a very community-oriented town, and we're excited to be in a town that has that feel. So I encourage everybody just to come in and say hi, see what we're about, and we'll be here when you're ready for shoes, but we're happy to have you just come in and take a look.
Sounds good. All right. Well, again, thank you, Ray, for joining me today, and thank you for watching. If you happen to know another dynamic business leader that is in the community here in Vienna, I'm focusing on Vienna right now, please Facebook message me or use the link below and let me know.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.